All right, so we're here to redesign your business. That's the name of the topic today. And most of us are entrepreneurs. Some of us are working for somebody. Nonetheless, the reality is that in the past 1 year, the manner in which our way of living has changed, it has never changed so fast ever. At least for all of us who are living, we've never seen such kind of a change. Nature has changed its syllabus. The way we purchase has changed. We've started reducing it to essentials. We're sticking to basics. Our communication has changed. A lot of our communication has gone online. Work from anywhere, which used to be a thought, has become reality in the past 1 year. And do more with less. Minimalism, that is something which is a reality of today. So we are in a space of maximum utility, minimum expenses. Anyone of you who differs from this may please raise a hand or maybe put a message in the chat box. So it is time to redesign your business. Let me hear from you. Is this a yes for you? Or do you think it is time to redesign your business or no?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. So yeah, so my request is please don't, so now please go on mute. And whenever I'm asking you to respond, please do that on the chat box. All right. I know many of you know me, some of you who don't, you must be wondering who's Atul. So let me start with that. I'm not there in this photo. Okay. But I am the reason behind the smiles on these faces. This is what I look like. These are some of the brands that I worked with in the past. And eGrowth is a brand that I've created. I've been building this for around 7 years now. This is how eGrowth has grown. 2 years back, I published a model called the leverage model. And today we'll be talking a lot about the leverage model. Last year, when the lockdown happened in India, we started with the CEO talks, wherein we got entrepreneurs to come and speak about their journey. Coaches, trainers, they came and shared. It was all about entrepreneurship. And during this journey, I also published a book called Golf Mastering Business Success. And why am I here? The first piece is the only way for you to have a sustainable business is to redesign your business. And my job is to help you design your business well. And I must tell you, I am on your side. If this is something which really excites you, please give a round of applause on the chat box. So you can say yes, hello, hi, whatsoever you please. Great. All right. Thank you. So now I must share another thing. The business world is changing. Year 2000, this is how we used to do business. We used to shake hands, we used to meet in person, there were telephones, there were letters, there was a lot of print. And then by 2015, things started changing. And we were very much in the digital world. There were so many digital platforms we started using. Even online currency started taking rounds. And then by 2019, we moved into a different space. From handshake, we moved to being handcuffed. And this time, we got handcuffed to the mobile phone. If you think that is true for you, please write in the chat box mobile phone. Our entire world got reduced to a small piece which fits into our hand, the mobile phone. And from the digital world, we graduated to a world which is predominated by just 4 platforms, which is Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. 4 of them have the largest amount of data on this planet today. We call this as FANG, F-A-N-G. And practically everything is being done digitally today. Whether it is communication, right now all of us are connected through a digital platform. This would not have been possible a couple of years back. Even a couple of months back, this was not a reality. So this is how things have been changing. Our currency has gone digital, our hotels have gone digital, our cars. Today, we don't really need to own a car. We'll just go to Uber, hire a car for just as long as we need it. This is how things have been changing. Right? And
Yes,
then
sir, right.
come 2020, things have changed even further. During this period, some businesses have actually vanished. There used to be STD PCOs. We could just go use a 1 rupee coin and talk for 3 minutes. Those came and went away. How many of you remember there used to be something called as a pager? Or there used to be Telegram? Or there was a time that we used to have watches and we used to get them repaired. Or we used to get our photographs printed. Data used to be there on cassettes, then CDs. We used to use desert coolers for cooling. And the floppy disks, they used to be so big, then became smaller, then became still smaller. And today, I don't know for how many years we've just not seen a floppy disk. All right? So this is how things have been happening. Even the mosquitoes world has changed during this period. We used to use Finite or Baygon to take care of mosquitoes, to save ourselves from mosquito bites. And then we used to use the tortoise mosquito coil. So Catherine, this may be new for you, but in India, we've been using this for donkey's years. Odomos. Then we had the mosquito mats. And then we had roll-on. All right? This is how we've been doing various different ways to deal with mosquitoes. And in the very same manner, our audience has also been changing. If you think your audience has been changing, write in the chat box audience, AUDIENCE. So we used to give classifieds in the newspapers. We used to have yellow pages. And then came a time when SMS started becoming very important. And today we hardly look at an SMS. And then email became important. And today, many of you would have come here because you got this message through WhatsApp or through email. So like this, the audience has been changing, the preferences have been changing, the way we communicate has been changing, the way we promote our businesses has been changing, the way we deal with our business partners has been changing. So if you are able to visualize this change, if you're able to experience this change, write in the chat box change. Okay? And believe you me, we are interacting on an online platform, okay? For you to be able to take value back, I suggest two things. One, have a pen and a paper so that you keep on making notes. Second, keep on writing in the chat box. Every time you write down something, it stays with you. Otherwise, after 1.5 hours, you will not remember what all did we discuss. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to make the great shift. Write in the chat box shift, SHIFT. This shift is all about changing from speaking to listening. It's time that we started listening to our customer. It's time that we moved from expenditure to investment. We started investing in our customers. There's somebody on needs to go on mute. Can you please go on mute? And my way or highway to customer's way. Because it is the customer who pays your bills. If you think this is something which is happening in your business, write customer. If customer is the most important component in your business, then write customer in the chat box. Fantastic, fantastic. Be aware, your customer is watching you. The manner in which you deal with your customer, the customer is making note of it. If the customer likes, if the customer is comfortable with you, only then the customer will consider to do business with you. Once he's more comfortable, once the trust is there, only then your customer will do business with you. That is how important the customer is. Now let me share something very important. Business frameworks. You would not have ever heard these terms earlier. Let me share the first one. The first one is a business by chance. In this framework, we start with the beginning. We start with an idea. Or we start by inheriting the business from our parents. Or we start a business because we have a certain experience. Like I have been a business development person for more than 20 years. So it was pretty natural for me to consider getting into business development, and that is what I did. Or the other reason for beginning is there is a new trend in the market. And the fourth, which is a big reality for many of us, is the pink slip. Our employer may say that he cannot deal with us anymore. And he says, you please look for something else. And this is how an entrepreneur is born. And then comes the growth phase. This is when a company is formed, we get our first set of customers, and then business is all about selling, selling, and selling. The third phase is that of struggle, wherein receivables start to mount, manpower challenges start to crop up. Our employees leave, we don't have employees in time, we are not able to take care of our customers, and a lot more. Working capital starts to become an issue. Margins start to become thin every day. If this is your state, please write BBC, business by chance, in the chat box. Let us see how many of you are able to relate with BBC. Catherine is BBC, Aditya is BBC, Arun says BBC. And mind you, BBC is not British Broadcasting anymore. BBC is your life, it is my life. We are living a business by chance. And there is how a business by chance looks like is it's always bleeding. If not always, most of the times, little or no growth, just surviving, driven by jugaad. Jugaad is a Hindi word for just making things happen. All right, force fitting, if we would call it. We are always operating in the urgent space. Few customers, fewer processes, and just survival. Now, if you, those of you who have not responded and now you are able to relate to it, you still have an opportunity to write BBC. BBC. Shabir Bhai, welcome. Really good to have you here once again. And then, how many of you want to know another way of doing business, which is business by design? If you are the one, just write in the chat box, me, M-E. Let us see how many of you are there. If you want to know that, then I will proceed, else I will move on. Rajni wants a big me, fantastic. Great. Okay, so let me share with you what does a business by design look like. We've experienced business by chance. This is what a business by design looks like. It starts with a design, which has a creation phase, which has a startup phase. What is most important is this is the phase where you are looking at the business from the future. So this is the phase where business is driven by future. Then comes the development phase. This is where you are driven by present. What is required today for the business? Transactions are required, more sales is required, more production facilities required, so much and so more, right? This is the maintenance phase. This is the time when the business experiences growth. And very often this is unprecedented growth. And the third section is the most interesting one. This is diversify. During the diversification phase, you are looking at monetizing what you've created. This is the time when your business has matured. You look at how to duplicate it, how to divest, how to get out of business. Most of us, when we get into business, we look at it as if it is eternal, it is going to live forever. My friends, that is not the reality. The reality is every business has a lifespan. After that, it needs to be re-engineered. If there is something new which has opened up for you, please write in the chat box BBD, which is business by design. Fantastic. Just two of them. For others, nothing has opened so far. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, good. You know what? Every time you're putting something in the chat box, I'm getting a signal that you're alive. You're listening. And it's very important for me to know that you're listening because I am speaking to a screen. All right. So if you want to listen more, if you want to get more value out of it, keep posting. Okay. So let us look at how does a business by design look like. A well-designed business has these characteristics. These are highly profitable businesses. These are businesses who want consistent, who are getting consistent growth. These are businesses who have buffer for bad times, who have buffer for the rainy day. These are businesses which are driven by systems and structures. These are businesses for whom the operations are on an autopilot mode. There are multiple inputs, parallel processes, and profitable outcomes. Now, if you think that you want to have a business which is well designed, still continue to write BBD in the chat box. If something new has opened up, write BBD in the chat box. BBD, 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 BBD. Yes, yes. And why do you need to design your business? If that is a question which is there in your mind, just write why in the chat box while I'm sharing with you. Okay. So here I'm sharing with you what are the different kind of trainings which are available on this planet today. There are academics, there are functional trainings. Then there are trainings which are about skill development, creating new skills, developing new skills. And the fourth kind of training is capacity building. In a country like India, when the government needs to deploy a policy and they want to reach each and every village in the country, they would need to create teams which will deploy at the remotest of the places. That is where they need capacity building. In your business, if you are running a restaurant and you want to have a chain of restaurants, you want to have 5 of them, 10 of them, 50 of them, that is when you need capacity building. But my friends, 4 of these trainings, academics, functional, skill development, or capacity building, these are all trainings which help you go from 1 to N. These help you to go from an existing model to a larger framework. These help you to go from a blueprint to execution. My question is, where is the blueprint? Are you sure that the blueprint is working? Let us look further. How do you design the blueprint? How do you go from 0 to 1? How do you go from idea to creating a business? Friends, this is the difference between a business by design and a business by chance. If there is something new which has opened up for you in the previous 2 slides, please write in the chat box design. DESIGN. Awesome. Thank you. Now let me share with you the order of impact of these 4 different kind of trainings. The first one I said was academics. All of us have been into academics. We've done our schooling, we've done our college. Many of us are postgraduates, and many of us are even beyond that. This is the only, academics has a very little impact on our business. The functional or the skill development, that has a larger impact on our business. If I get to know how to deal with money, how to deal with people, how to deal with advertising, how to deal with marketing, how to market my business, that has a larger impact on my business. It is immaterial whether I am a doctor, I am an engineer. If I don't know different functions of the business, my business is not growing. Let us look at the next level of impact. Then comes capacity building. With the functional and the skill development piece, I can create one unit, I can create one restaurant, I can create one store, I can create one clinic, I can create maybe one class, I can create one school. But if I want to create a chain of schools, if I want to create a franchise model, if I want that my business should be on the 5 continents, then I need to know how to build capacities. So see, the impact of capacity building is much larger than my academics, the functional knowledge that I have. All right. And my friends, the largest impact is the design of your business. Let us look at McDonald's. Is there anybody who does not know McDonald's? If there is somebody who does not know McDonald's, please write in the chat box. I got a special award for you, McDonald's award. Please write McDonald's if you don't know McDonald's. Okay, so just look at it. That organization has a certain design. They are present in every nook and corner on this planet. Fantastic. Catherine, you don't know McDonald's? Great. There's a great award for you. I'll send it to you after this. All right. So look at McDonald's. McDonald's has a design. They are present in every nook and corner on this planet, and all their stores function in the very same manner. You will get almost the same burger, a McVeggie or a McChicken, whatsoever. The same packaging, same quality, same delivery across the planet. That is design. Somebody would have sat down and actually worked on that plan, on that blueprint. And that is how McDonald's became what it is today. If there is something new which has opened up for you, if there is something phenomenal which has opened up for you, please write in the chat box, impact of design. Impact of design. Awesome. Thank you. Let's move on. So we just looked at why do you need to design. Next one is how do you design? All right. So to share about that, I will share with you what we did at eGrowth to design this platform. Those of you who don't know what is eGrowth is a sales and marketing platform for growing businesses. We have been grooming this platform for almost 7 years now. We have a community of around 50,000 business owners. Okay. We are a sales and marketing platform for entrepreneurs. Our mission is to help businesses to make more money. Make more money. Full stop. That is all what we are there for. So 2014, I conceived this idea, and what did I do? I went to my customers, my potential customers, and I started asking them, what can I do for you? So here are some of the images of various trainings, workshops, networking meetings that we conducted in various parts of the country. Most of them are in India. All right. Then I went on a road trip to Punjab. This is from Punjab, 15 days. Next one was a road trip to West India, 20 days, 7,000 kilometers. All right. Then did some work with startups. We were a technology partner with Startup India in 2018. And we did some work in Uttar Pradesh. Then we did a boot camp with the tribals in Jharkhand. This was 2019. And we did quite a few other interventions with different kind of entrepreneurs with just one question: what can I do for you? In the process, we kept on building the design. We did a lot of stuff for women entrepreneurs as well. Just 2 months back, not even 2 months, less than 2 months back, went on another road trip to Punjab. This time we met the industry bodies. All right. And look what we've created over the past 7 years. We are a community of around 50,000 business owners. During this period, we have built a portal, we've got an app, we've got something called as the inner circle, and the community is growing every moment. I invite you to look at how is it that you are designing your business. Have you ever looked at designing your business? Have you ever looked at what is working in your business, what is not working in your business? What is the gap over there? And how do you build it from there? Okay. Let us move on. So do you want to have some secrets to design your business? Yes, no, thank you. If you want to have secrets, write 3 secrets in the chat box. Depending on how many people want the secrets, 3 secrets, I will tell you the secrets, okay? Only 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are 51 people over here right now and only 5 people want. Okay, I'll be generous and I will give it to all of you, okay? So here's the first secret. Be the leverage quadrant player. Okay, what that means is, I'm sure many of you would have heard of this term called cash flow quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki coined this term and he has made it popular across the globe. So cash flow quadrant says that people are there in one of the 4 quadrants. They're either employees, wherein they're working for somebody, or they are self-employed. That means they're working for themselves. Or they can be business owners, wherein they've got a business and they're running that business. And the 4th one is they're investors, wherein they invest in other businesses and somebody else is running the business for them. This is the cash flow quadrant. I've taken it one step ahead and I call that as the leverage quadrant. So the E section is active. These people are active. They measure their success by how much salary they get. The self-employed people, they measure their success by how much contract money do they make in a month or in a year or in a week or in a day. Their growth is also linear. It is directly proportional to how much time they put in their business. More the time, more the contract money. Let us look at how the business owners work. Business owners are the one who start leveraging various resources. So they leverage time, they leverage people, they leverage money, they leverage machines, they leverage technology and a lot more. And they measure their success in turnover. How much turnover their business makes, that defines how successful they are. And then come the investors. Investors invest in a different fashion. They are passive players. They are not running the business. There is somebody else who's actively running the business. They are investing money, time, or energy into that business. And their success is measured in terms of how much dividend they are making. The people on the left-hand side, more than 90% of the people on this planet are on the left-hand side. And they control less than 10% of the wealth on this planet. They work alone and they trade time for money. So how many of you are on the left-hand side? So if you are there on the left-hand side, please write in the chat box, left, 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 left. So you're either an employee or self-employed. Sandeep is left. Who else? Galaxy is left. All right. Okay. Now let us see the characteristics of the people on the right-hand side. The people on the right-hand side, their number is very little. They are less than 10% of the people on this planet who are on the right-hand side, who are either entrepreneurs, who are either business owners, or who are investors. And the beauty is they control more than 90% of the wealth on this planet. What differentiates them is they leverage various resources. And they have a system to make money. All right. So this is what distinguishes. So how many of you are on the right hand side? Let us hear in the chat box. Right, right, right. Okay, Durga is on the right hand side. Who else? Aditya is on the right hand side. Fantastic. Who else? Dr. Ujjwal is on the right hand side. B and I, fantastic. All right, great. So we have a healthy mix of both left and right. Now let us look at the leverage quadrant, the one top right, the business owners who leverage and who measure their success with turnover. Let me give you some examples. So how many of you know this brand called Chaos? Just write it in the chat box, okay? So those of you who don't know, Chaos is a brand for of tea. They are retail outlets who offer various kinds of tea and snacks and give a good experience.
To the audience who is looking at it from a fixed deposit plus point of view, it really doesn't matter to them whether that.
I request you guys to please remain on mute. All right. So the people in the leverage quadrant, they have an action plan. So Chaos, they have got 80 outlets in 8 years. Right now, as we speak, the number may have gone beyond that. During these 8 years, they have raised 8 rounds of funding, and they are in the business of creating experiences over tea, over chai. They have been leveraging. So what have been leveraging? They have been leveraging experimentation. They're focusing on upwardly mobile population. So they're very clear whom are they going to serve and how are they going to serve. They've got systems and structures in place. They've got a franchise model in place. They've got technology in place. They've got supply chain in place. And they would have many more systems. So as a leverage quadrant player, there are 3 things that you need to have in place. You need to have an action plan. You need to have the ability to leverage resources, and you need to have systems and structures which work. All right. Are you ready for the second secret? Write 2 in the chat box if you're ready for the second secret. All right. This is Weave business engagement. Okay. So let me just share something interesting with you. The person who you see here is a tea seller. And what he does is You pay him money and he gives you tea. The next one is a hunter who goes and hunts his prey. The third one is a farmer who grows the crop, harvests the crop, and then goes for selling it. And then the fourth one is a weaver who creates some beautiful pieces of art. All right. So you must be wondering, what is it that I have written in the brackets? So here it is. T is a transaction. So a normal tea seller, he is just having a transaction. A hunter, he is using his skill and a transaction. A farmer, he knows in what kind of soil, what can be grown, how much water would it need, what seeds can be grown where, what time of the year. So there's a lot of knowledge that he has. He also has the skill set for farming. And at the end comes transaction. And then comes a weaver. A weaver does a transaction, but before the transaction, there is a skill set, there is a knowledge set, and before that, he also has a process. The fibers, they become a fabric through a complete process. Dyeing is one process, weaving is another process, ginning, everything goes into it. Friends, your businesses are also like this. You are acting as one of them or maybe multiple of them in your business. You are either acting as a tea seller, a hunter, a farmer, and many of you may be there as a weaver. All right? I invite you to start operating as a weaver in your business. If there's something new which has opened up for you, write weaver in the chat box. All right. So now I'll give you another story of where we used weaving. So last year, 24th of March, India went into a lockdown in the evening. From 25th of March, we were in a lockdown. And I thought the business owners who are used to go out and build their business every day, they will have a tough time. What is it that I can do such that we can support them? This is where the idea of CEO Talks came. And from 25th of March 2020, we started to have a session of 1 hour every day. And this continued for 152 days without fail. We impacted around 8,000 entrepreneurs, 21 industry bodies. We had participants from 6 countries, 250 subscribers joined Ego during this period. 2 industry associations joined. 1 batch of Ubuntu was also created. 30 members joined the inner circle. So all this happened when we weaved the entire business together. We kept on engaging the people, whether they were our customers or not. I invite you to do this in your own business if you are keen to take your business to the next level. If you are already doing this, just write already in the chat box while I move to the next one. Are you ready for the secret 3? Write secret 3 in the chat box. Secret 3. SECRET 3. Fantastic. All right. So secret 3 is all about stepping up the ladder. I call this as the ladder of influence. The first piece is sale. This is what most of us or all of us know. This lady is selling something for $4. Okay. She takes the money, gives the product, and she's done with it. Then the next level of maturity is referrals, wherein you ask your customers for more referrals and you are growing your funnel every day. And ladies and gentlemen, do you know who's the biggest referral agent on this planet? The biggest referral agent on this planet is nature. You see these flowers, they are referral agents. They create the environment in which the honeybee comes to them, takes the nectar. Along with the nectar, it also takes the pollens. As the honeybee goes and sits on the other flower, it leaves the pollens there, fertilization happens, and that is how fruits get created. This is the referrals, my friends. Build this into your business if you don't already have it. Next level is farming. I spoke to you about farming in the previous slide. A farmer grows the crop, nurtures the crop, weeds the crop, puts in enough water, takes care of what all is required, and finally harvests the crop. Build those systems in your business such that you are creating a network around yourself. And the fourth and the highest level of influence is leverage. I'll share more about leverage in the next slide, wherein we are discussing about this media company called Dainik Bhaskar and how they used leverage in their business. Dainik Bhaskar is a pretty old newspaper company. They started with an edition in Bhopal, which is in Madhya Pradesh, in 1958. It took them more than 20 years to become the largest player in that city. In the next 15 years, they become the largest players in that state. And in the next year, they launched the first edition outside of the state of Madhya Pradesh, which was in Jaipur. And then they just continue to repeat that. Over the next couple of years, they spread to various states, various cities. And today, friends, they are India's largest circulated newspaper. They are the world's third largest circulated newspaper. They are present in print edition, they are present in online edition, they also are into radios, they are also into television. This is leverage. What they've done is, what they learned, they got partners, they got them to work together, they bought some companies, they did all that. They leveraged all the resources they had and became one of the largest players in the world. So I will again go to the previous slide. This is where you must aim to operate. You must aim to operate in the leverage quadrant. You must aim to operate as a leverage player. Okay? So here's to sum up. Design your business. Leverage is the new glue for your business. 3 secrets of leveraged businesses. Be the leverage quadrant player. Weave business engagement. And step up the hierarchy of sales or hierarchy of influence. If you are somebody who is into pure play sales, graduate to referrals. If you're already using referrals in your business, graduate to networking. If you're already networking, graduate to leverage. All right. If there's something which has opened up for you, write leverage in the chat box. Awesome, 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 awesome. Thank you for being awake and sharing. So when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So let me share something. What does the leverage model look like? The larger leverage model, it has three elements to it: design, develop, and diversify. When we're talking about design, there are three pieces to it: the future, lifeline, opportunity. Development, it has a game design to it. It is about building a community around yourself. It's building communication around your business. And when we talk about diversification, creating systems and structures, scale up and monetize, that is diversification. Based on this, you tell me, in what phase are you? Is your business in the design phase, in the development phase, or in the diversification phase? Please write in the chat box. Let us see, where are you? Design, develop, diversify. I'm looking at the chat box. No answer so far. Okay, design, 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 design. Fantastic. So just look at it. You always have the next level to go. All right. Do you want to know more about the leverage model? Let us hear some yeses from you. Okay, now that you're asking, I am excited to speak to you about the leverage model. So this is what the leverage model looks like. It starts with you. It starts with the future that you're creating for your business. The future is the soul of your business. Then comes the lifeline, which is the product of your business. And then comes the opportunity, which is the market that you're serving. Once you know where are you headed, once you got sorted on the soul of your business, once you know what are you selling, once you know whom are you selling, it is important for you to have the game plan in place, the process. How would you sell what you have to sell? To whom you want to sell? This is the leverage model, my friends. So here's a statement which I have given. It says, business is a game played within a 6-inch arena. The space between your ears. So I invite all of you to raise your index fingers, take them to your ears, and read this along with me. Business is a game played within a 6-inch arena, the space between your ears, and projected to the globe. This is your business, my friends. So far, you would have been dealing with your business out there. There is no business happening out there. The business is happening in your mind. Once you've sorted it there, then you have the game to play. All right? Now, here's the game design. So, game, it has a goal, it has an arena. What kind of a business you want, where do you want, whom do you want, and then there are measurements. What all will you measure? What is success for you? What is failure for you? And you need enough energy. Energy is time, energy, and money, which you need to have this game in place. So that is the game design. The opportunity is the journey between you and a yes. I'm writing a book by the name Opportunity, the Journey Between You and a Yes. It should be published in a couple of weeks. So this is opportunity. O is the owner, who is you. P is profit. The second P is perception, which your business has. O is the organization, how your business is organized. R is the resonance with the marketplace. T is the customer. Remember, the customer is the only reason for existence of your business. U is usability. N is the need of the business, of the customer. I is integrity. T is trust. And Y is a yes. So an opportunity is all about your customer, what he needs, and how you serve him. That's opportunity, my friends. Next comes Lifeline. Lifeline is all about liking, how you create a liking for your business in the marketplace. How do you build intimacy with your customers? How do you create familiarity with the market? And how do you bring excitement in your customer? This is the acronym for LIFE, L-I-F-E. Once you have a product which has a liking in the market, which has intimacy in the market, which has familiarity in the market, and which brings enough excitement with your customer such that your customer is ready to give you money, then you have a bestseller, my friends. So the Lifeline is the product of your business. And the future. Future is fantastic, future is unlimited, and future is never ending. Future is fun, my friends. If you create your business as fun, you will enjoy doing your business. If that is something which is interesting, which has opened up for you, write fun in the chat box. Let us see how many of you think fun is what you created for your business. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right. So here's another interesting thing. Let's play golf. Golf is the acronym for the leverage model, friends. G for game, O for opportunity, L for lifeline, and F for future. This is a photograph which got clicked in 2007 in the Kauai island of Hawaii. At that point in time, I never knew that I'm going to use this photograph like this. But I'd just like to share something very interesting with you. At that point in time, I created a future for myself that one day I would be playing golf. I never knew that this golf would be the leverage model. And then that manifested in my life. And through me, it is present in your life today. If you like this, write golf in the chat box, G-O-L-F. That is the leverage model, my friends. Is this all, or do you want something more? Do you want something more? If yes, write more in the chat box. Okay, some of you want still more. All right. Fantastic. So let's move further. So putting things in perspective, it all starts with a design. Design, develop, and diversify. Okay. Design is all about creation. It's about the leverage model. Development is about maintenance. That's the e-growth framework. Diversification is about monetizing your business. So design your business. Business dynamics are changing rapidly. They are changing much more faster than what you can see, what you can even imagine. Leverage is the new glue for your business. 3 secrets for the leverage business is: be the leverage quadrant player, weave business engagement, set up the hierarchy of sales. 4 elements of the leverage model are game, opportunity, lifeline, and future. Design brings workability and it also brings a state change. Are you ready for a state change in your business? If yes, write state change. Awesome. So do you want something more? Do you want the bonus? Okay, so let's move on. So I'll give you some taste of the larger program that I will be talking to you about. Okay. So I spoke to you about the lifeline, which is about the product. All right. So the lifeline can be something like this. Okay. I've taken the example of a sandwich. A sandwich is such an interesting thing, a very simple thing. It has bread, it has some filling, and it has some taste. It can be priced anything from just rupees 10 to more than 1,000 rupees, which is a variation of more than 100 times. Let us dig deeper into this. The product matrix has 3 elements to it: the bread, the filling, and the seasoning. Many of you would have come across the 4 P's of marketing, which are product, price, place, and promotion. I call these as the bread. Okay. The second piece is the filling, which is the people, the plan, the process, and the presentation of your business. What makes a difference to your customer is these 4 things: the people, the plan, the process, and the presentation. And then comes the seasoning. Seasoning is something what makes difference to you as a business owner. Seasoning, the first P is profit. If you are not making profit, you are not in business. If you are not passionate about your business, you are again not in business. If you are not clear about the positioning of your business, you are not doing enough justice to your business. And if you are not clear about the persona of your customer, the buyer, then again there is something fundamental which is missing. All right. So on the right hand side is how the customer looks at it. On the left hand side is how the business looks at it. Product is a need for the customer. Price is the cost the customer pays. Place is where the customer can access it. Promotion is the communication that the customer receives. People, plan, and process are the enablers for the customer. Presentation is something what gets the customer excited enough to pay money to you. That is the role of presentation. Profit is a part of the cost that the customer pays. Your passion is an expression which the customer is able to see. Positioning and persona tells the customer whether he belongs to your business, whether your business belongs to him or not. Now let us look at it from your side. Product, price, place, promotion are the offering, revenue, delivery, and communication from the business to the customer. People are the enablers. Plan brings clarity to you: how, what, why, where, and when, and to who. Process is an enabler. How would you deliver your services, your products to the customer? Presentation brings reality to your product. Profit is your motive for business. Passion is your purpose for business. Positioning and persona is a reflection of your vision for your business. This is the product sandwich, my friends. If there is something like out of the world which you've come across in this one slide, write sandwich in the chat box. And I promise you, sandwich will never remain the same for you in your life. Awesome. Thanks. What next? So are you willing to go? So now what I created with you in a span of around 1 hour or slightly, yeah, almost 1 hour, this was just a tip of the iceberg. There is much more than what you can create. There's much more which needs to go into the design of your business. If you are committed to take this into your business, I would like to invite you for a program which is called as the Leverage Model Blueprint, wherein you get to re-examine, retool, reboot, and restart your business. If you are game for it, write blueprint in the chat box.